So here's the beginning of our new organizing project. It's going to be so great. This is a walk-in kind of pantry space, so just so that you can see the vision of here. This right here is the kitchen, this beautiful, glorious kitchen. They've pulled everything out of the cupboard so that we can kind of see what we're working with, all of this food. Then we come into this pantry right here, and you can see big walk-in, nice big shelves, lots of drawers, shelves over here, and just kind of a mishmash. Right here on this counter, I want to make her a really nice bread baking station. You know what? All of these things probably look like things that you have in your pantry too. Cereal, paper towels, snacks, all kinds of random things. Then we have a place here where she has some bread pans. We're going to turn this into a great baking center. So we're going to open these cupboards, and I just want to give you an idea of how the layout is. These are all nice and naked. Everything's been taken out. I'm going to open these so you can see how much space we have. She happens to have adjustable shelves, which are really nice. And on the bottom here we have some nice little cupboards. And we're going to turn this space into something really lovely. So here's the before. This whole scoop right here. And after we're all done, we'll show you the after. Here we go. So here in this kitchen we have, probably like you have in your home, a bunch of mismatched spice jars. And look at how it's just hard to tell what everything is. And she happens to have these great pull-out spice racks. So this is really nice, and I'm going to show you how we organize these. I do like to have them in drawers, but this is a great built-in spice rack. You can see how it's about 4 or 5 inches deep. And we've got one of these on this side, and then one of these also on this side of the range. Okay? Well, it's finally time for our reveal, and I'm going to show you what we did on all of these shelves. This is kind of the main area that you saw that was already kind of cleared out before, but we're going to go shelf by shelf so that you can see what we've done for this homeowner. Here at the very bottom, where it's really kid-friendly and accessible, we have her cereals. Now, you can see that we've left some blank because she's got to fill those up and go to the grocery store, but those are great because they're just easy to grab, easy to fill. You never wonder what's not in the box. Then we have some oatmeal packets here, and these are really convenient because you just open the click and flip container, grab what you need, and you're on the go. It's really easy. So that's kind of a breakfast session right here. The second shelf has, you'll see it's labeled pasta and grains. So we have egg noodles, spaghetti, macaroni. These are all in the gallon-sized container, so it makes it really great for family. Then we have these smaller ones. These are kind of more specialized pastas. We have bow ties, mostacoli, fusilli, and I think some rigatoni in the back. But you can see how nicely that works in that size, so they're the half-gallon containers. Then on this side we have the brown rice, the quinoa, the white rice, and if you step back you can see how cohesive this really is. See how it works? You can see everything. Sometimes putting containers at an angle like this really helps to be able to find exactly what you're looking for without having to move everything in the cupboard. Let's go to the third shelf. These are our nuts and seeds. You can see we use these 32-ounce containers for things like craisins, pecans, cherries. On this side we have things for kids. We have boxed Jell-O, and we have drink packets. How many times do we buy these big containers of drink packets and all that's left is maybe one, and that's just such a waste of space. So containerizing them like this really just makes sense. On this side over here, we've containerized in half-gallon containers all kinds of different nuts. She has pistachios, cashews, almonds, roasted almonds, and even some in the back. But you can see that, again, we've angled them on the shelf, so it's easy to see everything that's on the shelf, and it's right at her fingertips. Then we move up to things that aren't so commonly used, but still really accessible. We have a click and flip that has dressing packets, seasoning packets, and even herbal teas. Can you see how easy it is just to grab them, flip them open, and go? And when you come back from the grocery store, it's so nice to be able to take things out of the containers, put them in a container you already have prepared, and the mess is eliminated. At the very top here, and this seems to be very, very common for people, we have things like protein powders or vitamin supplements, things we want to keep away from the kids, but still accessible. So they have their own shelf up here, and as you can see, there's room to grow. Now you can see the whole cabinet as I step back. Doesn't that look organized and inviting? And it's just so full of color. when we fill up those cereal containers, it'll be even better. Now right below we have some pull-out drawers, and this is where she's chosen to make snack containers for kids. Each one has different things in them, whether it's granola bars, peanuts, fruit roll-ups. It's really great because it's on the kids level. They just open the drawer. When they're done, they just slide it back in, and there are not boxes and wrappers everywhere. Okay, so now let's move on to the next band of shelves. This is our canned food department, and it's really a good idea to put all of your canned foods in the same place so that you know where to look. At the very top you can see we have our canned fruits. Do you see how I labeled the shelf itself? It really helps kids to learn where things go, or if you send them in the pantry to get something, all you have to say is go to the canned fruit shelf and get me some pumpkin. The next one is canned vegetables. She's got all things like beans, olives, artichokes, and green peppers and things like that. The next one is the kids kind of area. Again, it's really kid space friendly. It says kids pasta and broth, and you can see again how I've angled the broths so that you can see exactly what's back there. Some of our shelves are deep, and it's a great idea to stack and to put things at an angle. The next one is just canned soups, and many of you have these in your pantry, so it's great to just put them together. I like to stack things too high, and then also make great use of your shelf space. If you have adjustable shelves, it's a really good idea to use them to the best so that there's just as little space as possible. The very bottom one here is going to be for tomatoes, everything from diced tomatoes, whole tomatoes, stewed tomatoes, tomato paste. Very easy to access when they're all together. There we go. Now right below we have another little pull-out unit, and this is where we've got crackers. So just an array of crackers. We've put saltines in these click and flips so they can just open them, grab what they need, take them out, and it's just really nicely organized. Okay, ready for more? Isn't this fun? Now we'll come over here to this section. Now this section has been designated as kind of the not used so much section, but we've put baking supplies on the top, so she has everything that she needs to make bread, or when she bakes, she has those ingredients. Then we have a place for condiments, so all of her salad dressings, her barbecue sauce, her chilies, and then even bacon bits. She likes to have those on salads. And then the next shelf is just random things like breadcrumbs, tortilla strips, French onions, and some little breadsticks. So you can even see I snuck in a little bottle of Ezekiel blend right there. That's my little touch. So that's that cabinet. If you stand back, you can see how organized that is. Doesn't it feel clean? You can see everything. Okay, now she's just barely uncovered her Wonder Mill, and isn't this beautiful? I can't wait for her. She hasn't even made her first batch of flour yet, but it won't take long. She's just gonna love it. Okay, then we're swinging over to this side of the pantry. This is kind of her baking area, so we want to make it really easy to have all of these things that she'll need to bake. At the very, very top, because it's a seasonal item, we've put her hot cocoa. But see, it's really easy accessible with a stool. It can be seen, but it's not at the forefront. Here we have oils and vinegars. Now do you see how I've separated the vegetable oils, then it goes into olive oils, and then different things like barbecue sauce, soy sauce, and then all of this, these are all different vinegars. Put your white vinegars together, your red vinegars together, and then your specialty vinegars. So if you scroll back, you can see how nicely organized that is. They're still in groups, so you know what you're looking for, but there's not a hodgepodge. This shelf right here has all kinds of things, all the sweeteners and breakfast things. So we have honey on this side, peanut butter, jams and jellies, syrups, agave, my favorite, and then Nutella. Isn't that great? Look how clean and organized that is. Again, if you like to buy things in bulk, buy them in bulk and then refill them into these smaller jars or containers. It works really, really well, and then you don't have to have big gallon jars in different places. Okay, well here is the pride and joy of the entire pantry project. Look at this. Now this is really a sight to behold. I'm going to give you a close-up in a minute. But this is where she has kind of an appliance garage. And then right above, we've created this baking area so that whenever she's doing cookies or breads or anything, she has all of her gallon-sized containers right all together. We've got white flour, brown sugar, powdered sugar, rolled oats, wheat, white sugar, and chocolate chips. Isn't that great? It's so easy to just grab it and go. And her baking station is just this close. See how close that is? So she can just pull all of her things off the shelf and have them at her disposal. These were originally in kind of some mismatched containers. Some were big, some were small, some were still in the bags from the grocery store, and it just didn't really work as well. It didn't have a flow, but now she's got a nice organized system. Now right above, she has this beautiful collection of freeze-dried and dehydrated fruits, and then the vegetables. So she has pineapples, peaches, blackberries, bananas, cinnamon apples, tropical fruit, and apple slices. And look how neat this is. You pull one away, and she's got another entire row of fruit there all behind. But it's so easy to find because it's just too deep. See, she's got even granulated applesauce. And look how easy. You know, it was so fun when we pulled these out of the cans and started to put them in containers. She had kids at home from school. They were not feeling well, and they were sampling every one of these little fruits and loved them. And so this is going to be their new snack area. Isn't that fun? Healthy, healthy things to eat, and so many options, and the color is beautiful. At the top here, we have all of the vegetables. We have mushrooms, peppers, broccoli, celery, sweet corn, and there are even some clear in the back behind each of those. And you can see that you can kind of peek in between, and you can see what's back there without even having to move them, so that's really convenient. Right here on the side, we've put some beans, different beans, in, let's see if we can get that better, in half-gallon containers. So we have black beans, kidney beans, and they go all the way back, and you'll see that again, they're at an angle, so you can read all of the labels going all the way back without having to move. So there is the pantry. We're going to stand back so you can kind of get the big visual. But there was the baking section. Look at that. It's stunning and beautiful. And then there was the other cabinet. Nicely organized. There's still so much room left in this beautiful pantry. This was that other one that I showed you. Here's our canned goods. Do you love the flow and the color and the variety? It's just so great. Now she can have everything at her fingertips. And again, this was the last one. And this is all in a great walk-in pantry. There we go, just like that. There's one last area that I want to show you that we did. It's the spice rack and the cups and plates. So let's go this way. Now, if you remember the pile of mismatched spice jars that I showed you in the beginning, you're going to really appreciate this. As we slide this open, we've now labeled all of her containers. We've put them in these great glass jars. Do you see that? Curry, poultry seasoning, chili powder. These are 4-ounce jars that you can find in our online store, and they're so great because we just put all of her spices all in her spice rack right here, and they're so easy to read when they're all labeled and clean. She's got a second one right here on this side, so we'll open that up, and look at that. She was able to fit probably close to 30 different spices, and at the bottom she has her cooking sprays, and it's right next to her cooking surface right here, which makes it really, really easy. So last but not least, we have this area in the kitchen, in the bar, where it was just a bunch of mismatched piles of things. So now we've taken her napkins and we've piled them in different piles. We have dinner napkins, luncheon napkins, kind of specialty things, and the little tiny ones.